is going on? This is Shango Ray, aka Real Deal Ray. Okay, and in this particular broadcast, we're going to be going over a subject that I brought up a long time ago. Shout out One Head. I just seen the One Head in there. I don't know who you are, but shout out to you. All right. And this video is going to be about sexual gateways / love gateways, although in my experience, really love has nothing to do with it most of the time. We're going to get into that though. So I'm leaving the door open for whoever else. Don't be ashamed now. Y'all don't be shy now. Y'all can comment now. You can comment. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. No one's gonna bite your head off. I can't believe there's just 3 lurkers in here. Lurk squad? Lakeisha's in here? I know somebody gotta be up in here. Somebody that speaks, right? Well, we'll find out. But anyways, it's gonna be an interesting topic. And as some of you may or may not know, we have just opened the door for the fall. And I should have put fall in quotations because it's a play on words. Fall into love. The Equinox Love Jones ritual. That's right. This is the time we're gonna get some things moving with this shit. And I'm also gonna speak on that here. 6 heads in the building. Somebody, yes, right. Somebody finally said hello. Felicia, shout out to you. I am great. Blessings to you. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. Come on, settle in. I'm not going to wait too long to jump in to what the topic is today. I've made already 2 different videos on this in the past years. One I made like years ago. The other I made shorter, but years ago. And I think they both got like removed. Well, take this, you two. Okay, take this. Gonna come at them. Terrain, Washington. Had to come back through my app. Hey, good evening, Mr. Washington. Shout out to you. 7 heads in the building. Apparently, most are Lakeisha's. Okay, I ain't even mad. Lakeisha. Look, sometimes we've had a love-hate relationship thing going on. Okay, I tell you what, I'm just stepping into love. All right, I'm just giving you love. How about that? You can watch all you want. All right, watch all you want. That's fine. You don't have to converse if you don't want to. I mean, ain't that the ideal of a good loving relationship when you can be in a room with somebody and you don't got to say shit? Yeah. Miss, I'm sorry. Miss Terrain, Washington, my bad. I will never forget that. It is now locked in. It is now etched into my mind. Okay. It is not going anywhere. Got about 2 more minutes, then we're going to jump into it. So I'm not going to be here long. I got a late start today. Tomorrow we will be doing a load of unfucking. So you're going to want to be here for the unfuck, the world famous Unfuck Your Fridays with Shango Ray. If you want to get some of that good unfucking going on, you're going to want to tune in tomorrow. Okay. What time? Hey, I don't know yet. Okay. But it's definitely going to be happening. And you're going to want to be there because you are going to want to get that proper team, a proper unfucking. All right. So if you want to find out how to unfuck your Friday, you're going to want to tune in. Yeah. And I'll also be doing carpool, like regular carpools or regular psychic card questions. And if time permits, of course, free spirit pools, as I like to call them. All right, let's get into this shit. This is a topic that I spoke on years ago. The topic of sexual gateways. Love. I also call them love gateways, but love, I don't think that's really an accurate term here. Although it can be, in my experience, never has been. Okay, let's get into what these are. Some of you are going to be able to relate immediately. Some of you maybe might have to recall some things. I'm pretty sure everyone has had one of these. Okay. Now, what is a sexual gateway? I can hear you guys, already like scratching your genitalia and shit. Like, what is that? What are you talking about, Shanga? What do you mean a sexual gateway? Well, I'm about to tell you. A sexual gateway is not just a sexual relationship with somebody. Okay. When I look back through the history pages of Shango-Ray, the book of Shango-Ray, there are several of these. Okay. And through my approach with the scientific method, I've noticed certain characteristics. Now, for one, what these are basically some type of a spiritual, I'll say it like this. They're a spiritual portal disguised or that comes in the form of a sexual relationship. I say sexual relationship because, in my history, there's never been like no love there. Everything was cool, but I couldn't say there was love there. But I noticed that these particular women, when they would come, number one, well, I'm going to get into some of the signs because there was what the humans would call weirdo shit, okay, around every one of these. But basically, for some reasons not known to me, dealing with these particular women would result in pretty much a kind of like dramatic change in my life, like a shift. It was as if I walked. Have you ever? Some of y'all remember this game, Mario Brothers, or any video game? You know how like you go in a certain door here, and then you come out over here. It was in actuality like that. And being that I was already with the shits when I started, partaking in these particular relationships, I was able to see things that maybe the average person might not notice, I'll say. They just wouldn't pay attention to certain things. But I pay attention. EYE, I pay attention to everything. Or a lot of shit. I'm very observant. So, hey, Frankie Evans. So, I would notice that, yeah, so basically me entering, and one characteristic, well, there's several different characteristics about these. Okay, let's get a little explicit with this, okay? One thing about these particular relationships is they're not, well, I'll say it from my experience, because we've all had relationships which are very defining. There's like no replacing the impact that they had on your life, point blank. If you're being real with yourself, like there's just no replacing the impact that this person had or what they meant to you or whatever it was at that chapter. Maybe you're going through it now. I don't fucking know. Okay. Prophetess Vance, Birdie, shout out. So I'm not talking about those, although maybe, I guess, but to me, like what classifies a sexual gateway, it's not that. If it lasted a year or two, whatever, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and like I said, it was a significant and defining, super defining relationship, as in who you are in your world, in your life. That's to me different. You know how scientists categorize animals, and there's certain reasons why this is in a certain category and this is another category. Well, this is how I'm doing this, okay? So sexual gateways are not that. I've noticed that they, for the most part, they're very temporary. They're temporary. Another thing I would say is I wouldn't even say that there's love involved, to be honest. You know, there's some form of a chemistry or a connection, but I wouldn't say that it's love, you know. Third, it is accompanied by fuckloads of synchronicities, to the point where even if you're just slightly spiritual, you cannot help but be intrigued. In fact, these synchronicities around this person are going to grab your attention, to whereas now you might have been dealing with several different people, but now because of the synchronicities, you're like, now you're on my radar. You caught my attention. You got my attention, you know? And I suppose that these can work in the reverse, but when I say they're a gateway, I'm referring to a gateway usually to, I mean, for all intents and purposes, like something more positive. And also a change in you, even if it's just like a slight little shift. Like I said, these ain't no super huge meteors that leave a huge concave on your landscape. And I'm not talking about that, but they are significant because they take you somewhere or for some reason. Okay, you've heard of, like, if you're out in public and like sometimes maybe let's just say example, a homeless person comes up to you and asks you for money, and all of a sudden you might get the sense, or you might hear this for, hey, this might be an actual spirit coming to me in the form of a homeless person just to see what I do. You know, so you give this person something, and then usually you have it. It always comes back multiplied. You know, because you didn't also judge it by just a book on the cover. Like, this might have been Babalu Aye. This might have been whoever, you know. Lady K, what's up? Tawanda Vance, spiritual. If you want to demean it by saying spiritual booty calls, in a way, I guess you could say, yeah, okay. But they take you somewhere is the point. Our lives do seem to be, or our experience of our lives, correct me if I'm wrong, do seem to be like a strip of film. Each film is connected. Each frame is connected to another frame, i.e., one link in a chain is connected to another link in a chain. This particular link might not be all of that to you. However, you can still respect it because it is a link in your chain. Do you understand? Trying to get me in trouble. Now, let me tell you something, because Terrain just reminded me of something. She says, trying to get me in trouble. Well, spirit doesn't have the same rules as your human shit and your morality. Understand that, numero uno, okay? So you might be in a relationship, and one of these gateways just head on over. Hey, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no rules. That's happened to me too. You know, there's no rules. It has happened to me. And when I went through these gateways, like immediately after, like, I mean, I've even changed locations, like moved hundreds of miles away, or, you know, whatever. Like, usually things, for me, I'm just giving you just a gist, right? When you go through one of these gateways, and of course I'm speaking to it from a man's point of view, but I'm sure they're very similar and have similar characteristics. I'm sure that the opposite does exist, because if you have a yin, you have to have a yang. I'm sure there are also negative, and pretty much we all know about that. We may not even look at them like that, but the moment you started fucking with this person, shit started going bad for you. You know, you could consider that like a negative gateway, but we're not talking about that. Oh, the Libra comprehends. See, we're in tune because one of these gateways was a Libra. So yeah, we ain't far off. We ain't far from home. Okay, we ain't far from home. So Yeah, it can be very strange. And like I said, there's usually always strange, maybe small, but strange occurrences that happen around this person, either when you're dealing with them, either when you guys are in the same proximity, or something that corresponds with this particular person. Now, you probably know that this person, you're not going to be like, there may be an innate sense. For me, there's always, maybe, and that's, I don't know if it's just because I'm a guy or what, but like, it takes a hell of a something for me to even think I can see a future with you, okay? So it's like maybe biased, but I'm pretty much already presuming that this ain't gonna go that long, you know? But these sexual gateway things, these sexual gateway, I guess you could say, relationships, they are more of the temporary kind. And I do notice that once you go through them, when you're done, they either just disappear, or you'll find that afterwards there's just like no re-link up. There's just, for whatever reason, either maybe they have a time and now you don't, especially like if you're in a relationship or something, or vice versa, or you know, just it just never ends up happening, and then all of a sudden that was it, and you know that that's that, and 99.9999999% chance you're never going to go through that again. You're never going to go through that portal again, you know. So yes, Prophetess Vamp says it's a temporary situation to get you to the next step. That would be a accurate description. Yes, I would say that. In my experiences of these, they are just that. You know what I'm saying? It's when, especially in hindsight, when you look back, it's like, okay, these are, it was what it was. It was cool. Like I said, as far as like on a relationship scale, I wouldn't even like, it is some form of a relate. Anything is a relationship. You have a relationship with your postman. You have a relationship with your cashier at the store. If you're always seeing them, you know, you're always going there. You have a relationship with your landlord. Relationship simply means, the actual definition is the process of relating. That's all it means. So it doesn't, you know, just what I was saying. Yeah, exactly. Problems for this. Sex is not marriage, but sex is part of marriage. Says Felicia Beeks, sex, definitely part of marriage. Sex is about the quality of your entire love life, not the intricate alignment of your bodies. Interesting point. Interesting point. I would, you know, I'm a 9 of clubs. If you know anything about a 9 of clubs person, you know they're probably one of the highest sexed persons in the deck of cards. Okay, as far as like sexual, to the point where they really have to make a concerted effort to channel this energy, or else they're going to spend a lot of their lives, if you're a man, creating a bunch of fucking bastards and fucking up your life, okay, and just misdirecting your energy. It's going to get you in all kinds of, you're going to be distracted, you're going to be depleted at the end of the day if you're not careful, you know. So I would have to say that that is, to me, that's like 100% accurate what Felicia Beeks said, because sex may not be a large percentage of what a real relationship is, but it is one of the most important parts of that relationship, in my opinion. Of course, yes, you have trust, you have communication. Those are the other two big son of bitches, you know, and if those two are off, that's going to affect the sex. If the sex is off, it could affect those two things. But without the sex part, and you know, some people don't see it like me. Some people can be really just matter of fact, like, you know, as long as the bills are paid. And I can't do the blah shit. Like, I'm allergic to the blahs. In other words, I need some spark, fire. I need some passion. If there's no passion, I can't fuck with it. I cannot. Like Jesus said, you know, if you're lukewarm, I'm gonna spit you out, and I ain't with the spitting. Okay, I'm not with the spitting. All right. So, and yes, it's not even really about. Now I understand. It's not about just the sex. It is, as Prophetess Vance mentions, sexual energy. But when you understand what that sexual energy is and what it, I don't want to say what it's really truly for, but in essence, yeah, in the raising of that energy as opposed to just always, you know, shooting it down somebody's throat or shooting up someone's club. You know what I'm saying? Not that I mind that. I actually love that too, very much. All right. But you do gain a perspective because you don't just come here to live like an animal, trying to eat, fuck, and have some type of shelter and all this. There's other things beyond this animalistic part of our lives. You know what I mean? That's what animals do. That's all they do. Is try and find something to eat, try and find something to fuck, and like somewhere that they call their home. Like that's it. And if you look at most humans, that's what the fuck they do. You know, I ain't half-assing my relationship. If it's like that, we can be business partners. You know, some of these people are they're doing the roommate dance, as I call it. You know, live together, ain't touched each other in months. Really? Ain't been no fucking steam, no heat, no nothing. It's just, and then God forbid y'all have two other, you got a job or they got a job, and y'all are just like crossing ships in the night. You know what I'm saying? It's done, dude. Like pretty much, I can pretty much guarantee somebody's doing something. Somebody's doing something, you know? The lion cannot always roar and eat. So these sexual gateways do come into play, though. I say sexual because, like I said, in my experience, they always involve sex, like of some kind. Though they may not. I mean, there's nothing, there's really no rules I've come to find. But as far as just my own little scientific way of classifying shit, what's up now? So I don't mean it. I'm not trying to demean it or anything, or like, make it seem like it's just about that. But there is usually that involved. Like, I'm sure maybe there might be a chance, there might be some type of a meeting with somebody, or somebody just comes into your life. But then why would you call them a sexual gateway if there's no sex? Like, obviously that's another genius of category. Okay, I'm talking scientific shit now. You know what I'm saying? So now, like I said, when I speak of these, I'm talking about portals that are going to take you somewhere, advance you in some way. If you learn something about yourself, gain a perspective on yourself that you did not have before, you've advanced. You will more than likely always see some type of external, correlation to this, because you may have a whole new shift and upswing in your business or in your finances, or something like that. Things will work out for you in a positive way. It's almost like a bridge between you and this other you and reality or something. And it's just like, it allows you just like seamless integration, So I mean, I would have to agree with that, to be honest with you. Felicia B says men and women approach sex very differently. Men make love to feel love. Women need love to make love. I mean, yeah, I could pretty much say that. But I'll say this too. Men are the most romantic of the two. Yeah, I know it sounds weird. You wouldn't think so, but I'm telling you, men, it really does hit men. I know it hits women extremely hard, and I know it hits women in a whole other way, but it hits men in a whole other way too. All right. I like to ration that ass. I need my yard cut first. Well, Jesus. Damn. So that's a part of what this whole fall into love Equinox Love Jones is about. This ritual, you give me under 30 minutes on September 21st. I'm going to show you, number one, that this fucking ritual itself is a portal, but it's a portal that leads to other portals. It's like an underground fucking network of portals. Okay? Come underground with it. All right? Now, I've had a lot of people asking me if it's good to use for a particular person. And my answer is this universally. First of all, yes. However, there's a caveat with that shit. If you can keep an open mind to this person or better, then you are going to see dramatic, fucking, astounding, amazing results. Okay? You are going, I promise you, you're going to fucking experience the strangest, maybe what would be called the weirdest synchronicities. They say life's a stage and everybody plays their part. Well, this is your movie. So the weirdest cameos are going to come in, okay? And these cameos lead to other things too. They might lead you to a main co-star. They might lead you to a series. They might lead you to the cast, okay? However you want to see it. The main thing about this, though, is a frequency of love, okay? That doesn't mean that some of these people that you have to feel like that in love feeling. You don't. The frequency of love is all encompassing. And the first aspect of it has to be that love for yourself. And yes, this is put into like 3 compartments. It's a very brief but powerful ritual. But one of these compartments, I'm going to have you do something special for yourself as a symbolic ritualistic gesture of your own self-love. Because without that, folks, I don't care if somebody, that's why a lot of you motherfuckers are chasing somebody. You're trying to fill the hole thinking that this other person is going to do it. And I got some very cold, real world news for you. That shit ain't gonna happen. You will always be lacking in your motherfucking macking if you go about it that way, if you continue to go about it that way. God damn it, it's not Sunday, but I'm about to sermonize your motherfucking ass. Train. For some of you, you may not be looking for the one, or, you know, some of you, you might have had some time to yourself now and you're like, you know what? I don't know if I want to give this shit up. Like, I love being by myself. However, this movie could use a change of cast here and there. You know what I'm saying? A little something. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That is a beautiful thing. And I would say that's one of the most advantageous perspectives to approach this whole thing from. Because you're not attached to any one particular thing. You can have something in mind specific. Of course you can. That's great. It's the attachment to that that's going to slow it down, muck it up, or even make it to where it's like you never really fully get it. So the cobwebs need to come down, as Felicia Freak said. That's right. You know what I'm saying? The cobwebs need to come down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to come down. And it has to be done right. Okay? You can't just have the sloppy cobweb removal. Okay? It's got to be right. It's got to be right. And I would also say you want to also avoid the type of connections that are going to take you off your path. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people may say, well, if somebody comes into your life and you have like uh, a negative experience, then maybe it is advantageous because it gets to you get to see something inside you playing out as another person. To which I would say, yes, from that perspective, okay, then that's the alchemist perspective, because the alchemist perspective is I can use anything. I can turn anything into anything. I can, so yes. But what I'm saying is from the offset, I'm pretty sure you want to avoid crazy motherfuckers, okay? You don't want to have to worry about getting restraining orders, okay? You don't have to worry about somebody giving you something and that will permanently impact negatively and affect your fucking life health-wise, okay? So you want to take these precautions. So how do you take these precautions? You get the fucking energy right, okay? This is going to set your energy right. Not only is it going to set it right, it's going to set it the fuck off. Because I don't know about you, but I'm turning the fuck up. And that's just what the fuck it is. Okay? Allure Kush Goddess. So, yeah. So just to answer that, because I've been asked, because, there's always people chasing somebody. Somebody's always chasing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Somebody always wants somebody that don't want them. Like I said, I've already spoke on this topic, and I don't want to judge anybody because I know I respect everybody's point of view. I'll say it like that though. I do respect people's point of view, even if it ain't mine, even if it could be further from mine. Okay, that doesn't mean it's any less valid in its own way. All right. So I want to make that very clear also. Do your research and search that energy, baby. That's right. So the link for that is in the description box. But one thing that I'm tying this all together is because for those of you who are more on a freestyle type of path, you haven't bound yourself with a particular idea, or maybe you have this, sometimes it ain't the idea of what you want. It's the idea of how that you're going to get it that fucks you up. That's where the box is that you need to be able to get out of, okay? Because when you're dealing with things synchronistically, magically, spiritually, I guess you can almost say these are all synonyms. You're going to be fucking surprised, okay? Just accept that shit, okay? You're going to be surprised. And that's just it. We learn about ourselves through our relationships and through our interactions, for the most part. That's what we do the most, okay? Now, don't even let me get into, some of y'all need a new cast and crew in your fucking movie, okay? Some of you need that shit because this new cast and crew is going to allow you, it's going to build the bridges between you and the other situations, other opportunities, and who knows God what else. You're not going to get anything different running along the same circuit. Okay? I can pretty much guarantee you. Yes, is it possible, Shango, that it can happen? Yeah, it can. But there's a much more fluid way to go about this shit. That's what this is all about, man. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Okay? So, this whole frequency of love, it goes through every area of your life. I would say it does make the grass greener, okay? The sky a little bluer, okay? Your step has a bit more pep. It just, it is something that cannot be denied. All of you know that. Right now, my cast is a one-woman show. You're a fucking soliloquy. And look, man, I get it. I would rather you be a one-woman cast prophetess motherfucking Vance than letting a bunch of J-Cats in your show, dude. Like, I respect that. There's nothing, that's a great, actually a great thing, you know? Call me crazy, but I'm more about quality than quantity. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of always how I've been. You know, the amount of pussy that I've gotten versus like the amount of pussy I could have gotten is fucking astronomical. But all that glitters is not gold, okay? And I guarantee you, a lot of, like 99.99% of the times when I passed on something, I always end up being like, finding some shit out, something where I'm like, whoo, I'm so glad I didn't fucking hit that shit. Oh, I'm glad I didn't lace that bitch up, you know? I'm so glad, you know, I'm so glad. So I have no complaints. It's not about all that shit. I don't need all that. What? So I have some, and now I can feel better because I mean the numbers would be like even higher. Okay, so what? What does that mean? I'm more about the experience. I'm more about the quality of, first of all, my life, and of course, whoever I deal with. I like mutually beneficially win-win-win situations. And that's just what it is. If it ain't that, then it ain't happening. Okay? I don't gotta cheat you to beat you, bullshit you to get you. It's that simple. So I'm putting it on the table, straight up from the hip. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, you know, as you get wiser, you find ways to streamline things. And especially a dangerous person is a person that doesn't give a fuck what you think about them, you know, doesn't give a fuck whether you accept them or reject them because they accept themselves. So number one, that's like bulletproof right there. But number two, it also gives this person the ability to accept you, all right, wholeheartedly. Doesn't mean they want to deal with you. Doesn't mean they're going to deal with you, but they accept you for who and what you are. And that is something that you don't often find because a lot of people, there's a lot of invisible expectations everywhere. People, they conjure these expectations and try and slap them on you. And then they're getting mad at you for an expectation that you didn't know you even had on you. Shit. What's happening? So, yeah. Also, by the way, this is really off topic. The show with me, I'm going to have Baron on as a special guest. I'm going to officially announce it, so I'm going to give it a good week or so of hype. But that's getting worked out right now. So probably in about a week and a half or so, we're going to be doing the show. But as things progress and we get things nailed down and shit like that, schedules be able to coordinate, you know, schedules and stuff. That's happening. So just wanted to say that. So Fake Shango, thanks. Appreciate you, brother. You know. So there's an easier way to go about all this shit. Okay, if you're single, then you want to be a part of this ritual. Okay, if you are, look, I'm not, like I said, man, look, let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck. Okay, don't get mad at me. All right, if you're in a relationship and you ain't happy, hey, maybe you need to be in a ritual too. Okay, I'm gonna tell you because the one or two things is gonna happen. Maybe three. Shit, maybe three. Okay, the dynamics within the current relationship that you're not really happy with can change. You change, it changes, right? Or maybe you find, like I said, we were talking about sexual gateways earlier. Maybe one just kind of just like slides up in your shit. I don't know. I don't know how that goes. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Do you? I don't think you do. Because this life is more about the unknown than it is the known. Okay, I'll tell you that. Hey, we missed you too. Yeah, don't get mad with the messenger now. Don't get mad with the messenger, but I'm just saying it can be for you too if you wanted to. All right, that's all I'm saying. It can be for you if you wanted to. All right, do you want it? Or do you like your life of blahs? Are you comfortable with your blahs? Do you wrap yourself up? Do your blahs keep you warm? Okay, well then I'm not talking to you. Okay, plain and simple. I'm not talking to you. You go run along with your blahs, okay? Bless you and your blahs, right? And like I said, of course, there are these demographic of people. I'll say people because it's men and women who like are at that phase in their life where they're like, hey, you know what? I want the one. I want the one. Okay. There's no reason why you can't have this meeting with the one. For all you knew, how do you know that this isn't the gateway that leads to the gateways that lead you to the one? You know, a lot of times think of it in the real world, right? A lot of times your destination, you got to get on the freeway, take this exit, take that one, hop on this freeway, take that exit, do this, do that. It's not just one road, okay? It really does parallel the spiritual a lot, okay? So what I'm saying is, if you feel that intuitive fucking nudge, maybe your one is like, come on, bitch, come on through. I'm waiting for you. This is how you're going to get to me. Okay. This is how you're going to find me. This is how I'm going to find you. So jump, bitch. Okay. I'm just saying, it beats like that sometimes. You know, there may be some other messengers that come here. Oh, couriers, right? Sexual couriers that come through. You know, instead of sexual gateways, we could say sexual Ubers. Okay, they Uber you to a different place. All right. So I mean, there's no limit to when you look at it. You know how things can go. Things are so, we live in such an expansive, or we're having our experience in such an expansive matrix. You really can't put a cap on things. The extraordinary is about to happen for you, period. You know, especially when you're expecting it, but you're not like looking for it, like, was it there? You know, not like that, but you just know, you get this feeling. I got that feeling. Yeah, that. You have to kiss a lot of frogs before you can get the prince. Perhaps, maybe. I kind of disagree with that, you know? But I would say this, certainly if that is a core belief or a core knowing, started off as a belief, then you found proof about it, and so now you're like, I know this shit, then I could see how that could be considered true, you know? I don't accept that for myself, you know, but hey, to each their own, you know, whatever works for you. Sometimes, you know, there's some psychedelic frogs out there too. Mike Tyson speaks about licking the frog. You know, you got mushrooms, you got that ayahuasca, and you got these fucking frogs, you know? And these frogs, they will take you to another dimension. Shit. I've never tried them though, but from everything I've heard, serious business. I mean, some of these frogs you can't even touch. You will die if you touch them, you know? So it's worth considering. But if you want to increase these sexual gateways, these anomalies, these anomalies, these are anomalies by all definition of the human, you know, definition. These are anomalies. But you're more than human. Okay, so your divinity cloaked in this, you know, this fucking meat suit. Go on and, you know, flex that divinity. Cause these anomalies, these synchronicities, these happenstance occurrences. Get your fucking love shit going on. You know, it doesn't have to be love. Maybe you're not looking for that. Like I said, I don't want to like pigeonhole this into one thing. There's many of you, and just as many of you as there are that many different objectives. There are that many different needs. Because sometimes what you want is not what you need. Okay. How about that? Slimy and poisonous. I guess, yeah, I mean, you can say that, TV, but a lot of like the indigenous peoples, I think there's some of those in like the Amazon. The natives out there would take these frogs to, you know, go walk through these dimensions and shit, you know. This was like their, besides the ayahuasca, you know. So I'm telling you, get down for the get down, okay? That's why it's called fall into love, because there is an element when you're purposely falling, you know what I'm saying? When you're gonna fall back, you're like, oh, okay, catch me, right? There's an element of trust. It's indispensable. People, I cannot listen. It's indispensable. You got to have the trust. Okay, you got to have the trust. This shit doesn't work nearly as well without it. Now, along the way, you might get helped. There might be some things that happen to help you trust the process. You can look at it that way, or you can look at it like, okay, this is my indication, my confirmation that shit's starting to, it's in its process. It's happening. This shit's happening. Shit's fucking happening. There's a difference between need and want. So yeah. So the choice is yours, my friend. What are you going to do? No, I'm not naked. I just have shorts on. Be like, Sean will be doing this show half fucking naked, basically. Sometimes. No. It's all up to you. You know, if you're not ready for what's about to happen on the other side of this portal, the other side of this gateway of this ritual, then I would say, please do not do it. Stay where you're at. Try and make sure things do not change, that things stay the same. Okay? But if you are, you're like, okay, I've been in this fucking shit for long enough. I'm ready. Link in the description box. Or you could just, like this little purple thing right here says, hold on, let me make sure. It's like, yeah, right there. See underneath my finger? Yep. Just go to the sorcererscorner.com right there. As simple as that. Simple as that. For you artists out there, if you've just been by yourself for a long time, sometimes you need that extra stimulation, you know? Stimulation, that museful energy. You know what I'm saying? If the universe is one song, then sometimes you need that music in your motherfucking life, okay? Join this motherfucking ritual. That's what this is about. Now, doors are going to close Sunday. So there isn't a whole lot of time, because I'm actually going to prepare this ritual during the night of the full moon, which is the 20th. So we have the full moon energy and we have the autumn or the fall equinox energy. Smack that together. So yes, and thank you, Prophetess Vance. I'm gonna just, I only got one more question for you before we leave. Okay? I'm gonna have to quote Usher from way back in the day. Can you get with it? It's like that. How many of y'all know about that fucking song? I don't think so. I don't think of many of you do. One of you may. I don't know. One of you. Can you get with it? Okay. So I'm telling you, this is the ill shit right here. This is that ill shit. But we are going to get out of here. Okay. I do need to hit the store. Somebody booked a session last night. I had to reschedule, so I'm going to be doing that session tonight. So I got to make sure that I have certain things done by that time. Yeah, I bet you do, Beaks. So yeah, yes. But this is the joint right here. Okay, this is the joint. Get down, or lay down. One of the two. Okay, one of the two. Hell, getting down will have you laid down. You know? Yeah. So this is waiting for you tomorrow, though. Tune in. We are going to be unfucking. I'm going to be personally unfucking several of you. Okay, properly unfucking you on your Friday. We're gonna unfuck that Friday. We'll also be doing some psychic card reads, and of course, some free spirit pools. All right, so we're gonna get into that nice and probably earlier than I came on tonight. Okay, bushy tail, right eye and bushy tail. All right, so peace. See you on the other side. There is another side, you know. Okay, but you got to walk through it. You got to walk through it, okay? No one's going to push you through it, all right? You got to walk through it. But I guess it's my job to provide or to assist also with, hey, here's a door. Here's a door. It's not the only door in town, but here's the door. And I'm telling you right now, I don't even think you're ready. You ain't ready for this shit. You ain't ready because you're going to, it does. I'm telling you, it's like it, man. Going through this door, it's like you can feel your hair start to raise up. Like you know how when you're magnetized? Yeah. Don't fuck with me. Don't play with me. All right? Shit. Hey, peace to everybody. We'll see you on the other side tomorrow when we do our usual Friday unfucking. Okay? So if you haven't been unfucked on your Friday, come on through. I got you. Peace.